Okay, so very interesting topic, no? Parent involvement and community partnership. Parent involvement is one of the important role in child's educational journey. No? When parents are actively engaged in their child's learning through school activities, homework support, or parent-teacher communication, our students are more likely to excel academically and socially. No? Research consistently shows that children whose parents are involved have higher grades, no, better attendance, and improve their behavior, no? Parent involved can take various forms, from attending school meetings and volunteering in classroom to participating in decision-making bodies such as the PTA, no? It is also includes supporting learning at home by helping with assignments, no? Encouraging reading, and reinforcing positive learning habits, no? So school must create flexible opportunities to involve all parents regardless of work schedules or backgrounds, no? Because a strong school parent relationship is built on trust, respect, and open communication. Educators must foster a welcoming environment that values the voices of parents and respect their cultural backgrounds, because regular updates, listening session, and inclusive activities help build this trust and encourage long-term involvement. Community partnership enhance educational outcomes by extending learning beyond the classroom. So local businesses, NGOs, faith-based organization, and government units can offer resources, expertise, and real-world learning opportunities. And this partnership create a network of support that nurtures student development and promote civic engagement. And to give us more details about the topic, let's welcome our presenter this afternoon. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Before we start, let me introduce my name. My name is Val Serafia A. Olama. So my topic for today under Education 208 is about parent involvement and community partnership. So in this session, we will be knowing ano yung mga parent involvement inside the school, and then what are the things na kinukonsider ng parents in terms of education ng kanilang mga anak. All right. Ayaw. Okay, so now let's know. Tanggalin ko lang po ito. Ay, sorry, Doc. Medyo naninibago ako. Okay. Now, in building a strong educational system, so we have three. So under this, strong schools are built on partnership between parents, of course, ang parents, educators, tayo ng mga teachers, and the wider community. Of course, yung community kung saan allocated yung school. And then, of course, this presentation explores the vital roles of parents' involvement and community leadership in student success. And then the last one is we will examine effective strategies for fostering this partnership and maximizing their impact. Okay, balikan lang po natin yan sa bullet one. So under this, we also know that effective education requires a collaborative effort. Schools cannot succeed in isolation. Sabi nga nila, hindi magiging success ang school without its components. Then next one is, of course, this presentation will also focus on how this partnership improve student outcomes. Makikita natin kung ano yung magiging outcomes ng mga students natin. And then the next one is, of course, my presentation will also offer practical advices and examples. So next page, medyo naninibago ako, Doc, sa next one, the importance of parent involvement. So in this area, malalaman natin ano yung importance ng parents natin sa involvement ng kanilang anak sa school. So next one is research consistently shows a strong correlation between parent involvement and student achievement. Of course, numerous studies demonstrate a link between parent engagement and higher grades, better attendance, and improved graduation rates. So the more na makikita natin or the more na merong relationship no ang parents at saka yung student sa school, mas nagiging wide, not just in terms of yung nalalaman ng school, yung mga learnings na nalalaman nila. Of course, yung relationship ng parents at saka ng school. Next one is parents provide crucial support at home, reinforcing learning and fostering positive attitude towards education. Of course, parents no create a supportive learning environment at home. Isa na doon yung helping with homework, then encouraging reading and promoting positive attitude towards school. Syempre, ang character din kasi ng parents, hindi dapat kasi nire-rely lahat sa teacher. Of course, yung parents, dapat makakuha, yung parents, dapat meron din silang naaambag, kumbaga, doon sa learning ng kanilang mga anak. Isa na doon yung pagtulong kahit papano na mapabasa, matutunan yung mga bagay-bagay. Kasi nga, sabi nga nila, parents is first teacher ng isang tao. Na naman, no? Ayan, ang isang bata. So parents, doon pa lang sa bahay, nai-instill na yung attitude ng bata, yung kumbaga magiging aware sila na anak, ito yung madadatnan mo inside the classroom, ganito si teacher, pag si teacher ma'am, pag babae yung teacher ma'am, pag lalaki naman sir, using po and opo. And the next one is parent involvement can take many forms, from volunteering in the classroom to participating in school events and communicating regularly with teachers. Of course, parents' involvement is diverse and can include various levels of participation. Say for example, family days or the brigada, yun yung pinaka-familiar tayo, brigada eskwela. Now, ang tanong dyan, ano ba ang involvement ng parents? Bakit kailangan pa ng parents ng parents during the brigada eskwela? Kasi most of the time pag brigada, lalo na pag sa public schools ka tapos liblib, usually ang nangyayari, yung mga parents instead of no lalo na pag kinder, hindi naman siguro pwede na yung kinder yung papalinisin mo. Most of the time, ang mga parent ang pumupunta ng school to at least help doon sa mga kakailanganin. Say for example, kahit pagtanggal lang ng basura, pagpipintura, ah, pag-help sa teacher. Bakit nga ba? By means of that, we can actually build a relationship. We can know each other better. Say for example, pag ako ang teacher, nag-attend ng parents ni sino to? Ni Juan. So of course, by means of this, we can actually know na siya yung parents ni Juan. And then hindi na yung awkwardness inside of the classroom, hindi na tayo nagkakaroon ng awkwardness pag may nangyaring mga issues dun sa bata. Kasi nga kilala, nagkakaroon na tayo ng relationship with them. So basically, pag nagkakaroon kasi tayo ng relationship no sa parents, hindi lang 'yan siya pag-build ng relationship na simpleng relationship. Of course, we can actually approach them. We can actually ask them to do something in return. Say for example, pag nagka-problema si Juan, hindi lang nagkaka-problema si Juan na si teacher lang yung nag-approach, pati yung parents. Hindi na siya nahihiya or kasi since nagkaroon naman ng what they call this relationship, you can actually ask the teacher as well na, ma'am, can you help me with Juan's performance? Ano nga ba yung gagawin? Siyempre, tayo na teacher, pag ganun, no, pag ganun yung approach ng parents atin, wala, sino ba naman tayo tumanggi? Since may relationship na nga nabubuo inside of, what do you call this? makapaghingi ng help from the parents. Okay, so yan yung mga importance of parents' involvement. Uh, uh, of course, in school setup, and as well as the teachers, is no engagement ng parents ng ating mga estudyante. Under this, we have open communication. Open communication, regular communication channels such as newsletter, pero hindi naman na ito, hindi na to siya applicable most of the time. Emails, hindi na rin. Parent-teachers conference are crucial. But in reality, in 21st century, meron tayong phone calls or yung madali na lang natin ma-approach sa school namin. Instead of phone calls, aside from phone calls, ang ginagawa namin, binibigyan namin ng letter yung student, kung may problema yung bata or kung kailangan ng attention ng parents. Say for example, aside from the calling, we are also doing it formally na binibigyan namin sila ng letters na prepirmado ng counselor o kung sino yung nagpapatawag and then ibibigay doon sa parents. Actually, ang purpose nun, aside from formality, is nakukuha yung attention. Kasi baka kasi pag, in reality kasi, pag calls or may may calls, pwedeng hindi sagutin. So, ganun lang, alternate. Pag text naman, pwedeng hindi mag-reply. Ngayon, pag binigyan mo pa siya ng letter, at least, siguro ma-realize niya, this is serious. Kasi aside from the formality that the teachers gave na nag-phone call, nag-text, may formal letter coming from the principal's office. So therefore, basically, this is very serious. So, yun yung open communication regularly. Open communication in terms of pag nagkakaroon kasi ng ganito, mas nakukuha natin yung attention ng parents to actually visit the school to know what is the problem of the students. And the next one under the effective strategies is the accessibility. So when we say accessibility, make information and event accessible to parents with diverse schedules and needs. Say for example, evening meeting, online resources. But then again, yung evening meeting depende sa school. Sa school namin, most of the parents were actually working during morning. So morning up until 5 p.m. So we cannot do meetings like this. Um, Instead, we are giving them a link na lang instead. Kasi nga since I am working in private school, so more or less, no, out of 100%, hindi ko naman po sinasabi to make it insult, no? Hindi po sa mga public schools na mga parents. It's just so happen na siguro mas open sila in terms of using ano to, using mas moderate sila, mas open sila sa paggamit ng uh, human-made technology. So, instead of that, say for example, pag hinihingi namin kung anong free time nila. Aside from the letter, again, aside from the letters, the calls, and the text messages that we are sending to the parents itself, we can also have a meeting from them. We're going to ask, ma'am, what is your time to visit the school? Of course, by means of this, no, we can actually ask kung ano yung mga availability nila. Pero again, depende po yun sa school. Sa amin po kasi, alam po namin kasi during meeting, sinasabi po talaga sa amin na, ma'am, if you cannot contact me during these days, during this time, basically I am at work. So can we make alternative ways for us to, to ask questions, to raise concerns? So in the morning pa lang po, doon sa letter na binibigay namin and the text messages and the call supposedly, we're also giving them a link, no, to access yung mga problems. Say for example, video call. Kasi nga, hindi nga sila po nakakabisit ng school. So, isi-share na lang po sa kanila na, ma'am, ito po yung na-miss ng anak nyo. Ma'am, hindi po siya nakapag-submit nito. Ma'am, ito po yung problem nila. So, basically, pag may ganun po kasi na nangyayari, we can gather no yung attention ng parents pa rin na yung parents, yung mga information na hindi po niya nakikita personally, we can actually share it through social media. So, yun po ang isang effective strategies is to, you will ask kung ano yung accessibility, no, ng parents. At the same time, we can also know kung ano yung mga vacant ng parents and the teachers itself. Okay, next one is two-way communication. So, ano nga ba ang two-way communication? So, basically, the meaning of two-way communication is encourage parents to share their feedbacks and concern. When we say two-way communication, the parents also will share their feedbacks and concerns. Say, for example, ma'am, pumasok naman po si ganito. Bakit po mababa ang grade niya? So, by means of this, we can actually reply, no? Balik po tayo doon sa accessibility. Pag may accessibility pong nagaganap, ah, mas magiging timbang po kasi ganun. Pwede po natin mapakita through online, yung accessibility, through online na, ma'am, si Kwan po kasi, si ang anak niyo po, ito po yung na-miss na area. So, ngayon magre-response naman po yung parents. Ma'am, ano po yung gagawin o yung alternative na gagawin pag po ganun? So, ang sasabihin na lang po depende po yun sa teacher kung ano po yung assessment na gagawin. Pero in my case, pag may missing po, saka ko pa po uh, comply pag nalaman ko pong dihado yung grades. Sasabihin ko na lang po na ipapasa niya na lang po yung kanyang project na na-miss that day, pero may minus na po. Hindi ko, depende po, again, depende po yun sa kung anong strategies and assessment of the teacher itself. But in my case, I will just leave it zero. Doon po, ililive ko muna po yun siya ng zero or ililive ko po yun as blank. And then pag nag-compute na ng grades at medyo tagilid po, ang gagawin doon is magse-special po ako. Ako yung basically po kasi ako nagpapa-comply po talaga ako. Lalo na pag alam ko naman po na valid yung reason. It just so happen na hindi po siya ura-urada na ipapasa since late na nga po. But then at the end of the computation of the grades, doon ko po, sige, sasubmit mo siya pero may minus na siya. So, ganun po yung two-way communication. At least we can gather the information. I mean, we can gather the concern and feedbacks of the parents, and then they can also have our feedbacks and concern to their children. Okay, next one is culturally responsive engagement. So under this, tailored communication and effective activities to reflect the diverse backgrounds of the school community. Of course, no, respect and accommodate the cultural backgrounds of all families. So since prior to my teaching career, since I am teaching first pa lang naman, first year, during my first year, right now I am currently teaching in an Islamic area. Prior to this job, I was intern in Christian area, most of the time yung mga open. So doon ko nalaman na different attitude, no? Different paniniwala, different and it more. So cultural representative engagement, of course, doon tayo sa mag-fit doon sa mga estudyante natin. Say, for example, this is just a scenario. Inside of the classroom, nagpahanda ka. Ngayon, ang gagawin mo, since nagpahanda ka, hindi mo naman po pwede na may baboy. Aside from may Muslim or may Islam po tayong brothers and sister, we have also yung mga estudyante na hindi po kumakain ng baboy. Nandun po yung iba't ibang religion na maybe meron din naman silang allergy, not just because of their religion, pero may allergy sila. So, in culturally responsive engagement, doon pa lang makukuha mo, no, yung engagement ng parents pag inaware mo sila na during this program, we will not be allowing foods that is not relevant for all. So by means of this, we can actually ask the student and the parents na rin na, ma'am, ano po ba yung bawal sa inyo? Anak, ano po ba yung bawal sa inyo? You cannot eat pig, or you cannot eat, sorry for the word, you cannot eat pork because of your religion. You cannot eat, ano nga po yun, yung yung may mga malalansang isda because you're allergic. So we can actually assure the parents na during this program, during this whole program, this will be actually give them a benefit, no, aside from the socialization, of all the student inside the classroom or all the student inside the school, we can actually give assurance to the parents that don't worry, ma'am, your children or the other parents also know na yung program na ito will also benefit no doon sa mga kapatid po or doon sa mga kaklase na hindi kumakain. We also aware them na they are not allowed to eat to bring any forbidden food so that the flow of the programs matapos ng matiwasay. So these are the effective strategies for engagement parents. Again, open communication, magiging open, no regular communication of the parents, accessibility, malalaman mo kung ano yung accessible na time doon sa parents, and then two-way communication, magkaroon tayo ng feedback. Again, two-way communication, feedback, and concern, both parents and the teacher itself. Culturally responsive engagement is yung cultural ng isang bata, no? Hindi lang ito ng teacher, kundi yung parents and the students. So that is the 4 effective strategies for engaging parents. So let's proceed to the role of community leadership. Under this, we will be knowing what are the roles, no, of community leadership. Okay, community leaders such as business owner, local official, community organization plays a critical role in supporting schools. Of course, community involvement provides valuable resources and supports for schools. Say for example po, kahit po yung mga kagawad, sorry po, no, not kagawad, dito po kasi ang tawag sa amin sa Maguindanao is BPAT. Para siyang pulis ng barangay. Barangay, parang barangay tanod. Ayun po, para siyang barangay tanod. So, during the role of dito natin malalaman, ano pa yung role ng community, no? Inside of the classroom, inside of the school. Say for example, nagbrigada. So, of course, maraming tao, hindi lang po yung student. So, basically po, kailangan po din mag-engage ng barangay to help the school, lalo na po kung ito yung mga barangay schools. Pag sinabi natin barangay schools, yung mga liblib. Kasi most of the time, during my internship in city, different. Hindi na po nila kailangan ng mga assistant coming from the organization. Depende pa rin po sa organization kung mag-help sila. Kasi since marami po yung tao. But then, sa mga liblib po na area, parang na-oblige po kasi nga po, malapit lang po. Parang wala naman nga reason. Yun lang po yung napansin ko. I don't know kung ano po yung napansin. Pero ito po yung napansin namin. Ako personally, napansin ko during my internship, sabi ko, bakit wala masyadong mga tao? Yun pala, kasi nga masyado nang crowded sa loob. So the more na maraming tao inside, so madali matapos ang work. But then since this is my area, we're actually urban, parang na-oblige everything or anyone in the position are kung hindi man po sila na-oblige na pumunta, yung mga kapitan po dito, yung mga kagawad, kung hindi po nila physically nahahatid yung sarili nila to offer the help that the schools needs, they actually instead nagpapakain, merienda sa mga tao or yung mga official, yung mga youths pumupunta po ng school. So yun po yung rule of community leadership. Okay, next one, they can provide resources, mentorship, and volunteer opportunities. So community involvement provides valuable resources and supports for schools. Under this one, community leaders can offer financial supports, mentorship programs, and volunteer services. When we say like this, they can offer financial. Say for example, nasira ang bakod. Actually, sa urban lang po talaga usually nangyayari yung mga ganito. Urban school. Pag sinabi natin urban school, they are the schools that located doon sa mga liblib na area. They can also give a financial support. Hindi po ito yung financial, ito bibigay ko kasi nga hindi naman ako nag-attend. So, ito na lang promiso Ganon, parang ganon ang mangyayari. No. Instead of doon sa ibibigay na pera na yun, may pupuntahan po yun ng iba. Ibibili ng trash can, ibibili ng walis, ibibili ng pintura, or igagawa ng bakod. Kasi nga, since urban siya, basically, pag urban po kasi medyo talagang dehado, no? In terms of the gates. So, yun po ang, of course, idadagdag ko na lang, yung volunteers ng mga youths or ng mga SK. So, dito po pumapasok sa rule of community. Yun po yung mga rule nila. Next one, community partnerships can ensure the curriculum provide access to real-world learning experiences and strengthen schools' community ties. So under this one, partnership create a higher learning environment and build stronger community bonds. Why? Because of this, we can actually create na mas maging malawak yung ating natutunan or yung natutunan ng isang tao. Say for example, pag mayroon po kasing mga kailangan ng mga what do you call this? Pag may kailangan kasi yung mga students, basically, they can actually help doon. Kahit yung simpleng pagpanday lang. Pag minsan panday, paggawa po ng ganito, lamesa, nasira yung lamesa ni ganito. So, yung community partnership, pumapasok doon. Kailangan nilang mag-help. Since ito po lalo na po sa public school, tapos urban, wala naman po hina-hire ang DepEd po para sa kanila na meron kayong staff para magpukpok ng kung anong sira dyan. But then, since this is urban, yun yung purpose ng community lead partnership, you can actually call out people from the office of the community organizer or the community or the local official na, can you help us like this? Can you do this for us? Wala po yung bayad. So, by means of this, nagkakaroon po ng, again, no, ng bond. Nagkakaroon po ng bond ang ating school and the community. So again po, community leadership, under the role of community leadership, we can actually have yung business owners, local officials, community organizers, and then we can also have resources, mentorship, and volunteers from different community. And of course, yan, magkakaroon tayo ng access to real-world learning experiences. Yun na po, yung pag-call out from the local official o kung sino po, saan po tayo magsisik ng help. So again, that is the role of community leadership. And then next one, let's know the building effective community partnership. So under this one, the bullet number 1 says, identify community resources. When we say like this, reach out to local businesses, organization, and individuals to identify potential partnership. Actively seek out potential partners who can contribute to the school's mission. We can actually ask them, lalo na pag nakaka-benefit doon sa school natin. Say for example, yung pagkakaroon ng canteen inside of the classroom, inside of the school. So we can actually ask them to magkaroon ng stall or magkaroon ng stall so that yung mga student hindi na sila malayuan bumili ng mga foods nila or merienda. Next one, under organization, if you are familiar with the bahay kubo, lalo na sa mga urban na school may ganito, yung mga bahay kubo, pwede po yun siya na mag-seek po tayo sa barangay, then gusto nyo po ba magkaroon kayo ng kubo? Kasi nga may benefits po ang school, may benefit din po sila. Pwede magpahinga yung mga students doon, mapalamig-lamig. Pwede din po during meeting ng mga meron po silang waiting shed. Okay, next one, develop a partnership plan. So develop a partnership plan, clearly define goals, rules, and responsibility for each partner. It's merely because establish clear expectation and responsibility responsibilities to ensure collaboration, we can actually ask, no, or we can actually know kung ano ba yung uh, roles and goals ng community at saka ng school. Pag nagkakaroon kasi tayo ng partnership plan, malalaman po natin yung point of view ng ating purpose no ng partnership na yan. Kung say for example, kung ang partnership natin, yung hinanap nating partnership, pag nag-develop tayo ng partnership, kung yung may benefit, ay, say for example, yung tindahan, again, tindahan, nagkaroon tayo ng partnership plan, ano ba yung magiging benefit ng school? Benefit niya in a sense na magiging access na magiging parang malapit na lang parang maging access maging malapit sa student, hindi na sila tatawid. Usually kasi sa urban malapit lang sila sa kalsada, tulad dito sa amin malapit lang sa kalsada. Tapos ano yung magiging goals nun? Of course, ang goals nun, ang main point na goals nun is magiging accessible siya sa lahat, sa both teachers, no? Tapos, by means of this, no, malalaman din natin ano yung responsibilities ng teacher, ng school at ng mga partners natin. Say for example, ang responsibility nila, maghain lang sila or kailangan lang nilang i-serve or mga paninda nila is yung magiging magiging kung yung estudyante, magiging malusog yung hindi sila magtitinda ng mga yung mga pagkain na hindi makaka-benefit yung students. So that is the develop a partnership plan. So next one is regular communication. Of course, maintain open communication with community partners. The more na nagkakaroon tayo no ng consistent communication, of course, it is the key to maintaining strong partnership with them. All right? Next one is the mutual benefits. Ensure that the partners are mutually beneficial for both the schools and community. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. Kasi nga, no, partnership should be mutually rewarding for both parties, for all parties involved. So yun po yung mutual benefits. So again, building effective community partnership, we have 4. Identify community resources, develop a partnership plan, regular communication, and of course, the mutual benefit. Okay, next one, measuring the impact of parent and community involvement. Okay, bullet number 1, track key indicators such as student attendance, academic achievement, and parental engagement levels. Of course, in this area, we can use data to monitor the effectiveness of the partnership. So, we can actually ask, no, yung mga levels ng parents' involvement. Pag sinabi na po kasi natin, itong sa track key indicators, sa student attendance, malalaman po, no, malalaman po ng parents at ng community kung ano yung uh, different levels of engagement po nila. Community through survey on focus groups. Under this one, no, regular feedback helps to improve partnership. When we gather information from different parties to all parties, we can actually make to improve. It can actually help to improve our partnership, both in parents, community leaders, and at that school. Okay, next one is use data to inform future strategies and improve partnership. Of course, data-driven tayo. Napapasok sa data-driven, no, ay yung decision-making, whereas ensures that the partnership remain effective. So when we say like that, the strategies, the future strategies and the future strategies that we have, we can actually make it remain effective for both parties. Parties of the parents, parties of the community, the leadership, and etc. to the school. All right, so under this, my topic is the conclusion. Under the conclusion, strong parents' involvement and community leadership are essential for creating thriving schools. So under this partnership, no, are crucial for student success. Mas magiging success yung student pag meron tayong strong parent involvement, pag nakakagather tayo ng ating mga personal feedback from the parents and the community itself. Next one, under the conclusion of my topic, is by fostering collaborative partnership, we can empower students, strengthen communities, and achieve educational excellence. Of course, in collaboration, again, leads to improved outcomes for everyone. Next one is let's continue to build bridges and work together to create a brighter future for our students. Of course, a call to action, no, we can actually encourage continued collaboration from the parents or the community itself and the parents. So, under this topic, thank you everyone, and I hope you learned something from my topic, and that's all.
Okay, thank you so much, no, to our presenter, no. And again, as I mentioned earlier, no, uh, both parents and community share responsibility for raising well-rounded learners. No, school must recognize that education does not happen in isolation. No? Students learn from their environment, and support system plays a vital role. No? So collaborative efforts ensure that the students receive the guidance, motivation, and care they need both in and out of the school. So despite the benefits, no, barriers, lack of time, language differences, socioeconomic struggles, and lack of confidence can hinder parental and community involvement, because schools should adopt inclusive practices that accommodate diverse families and actively addresses these challenges through workshop, translated materials, and outreach programs. No? So to strengthen parent and community partnerships, school can organize events that bring everyone together, like family literacy nights, cultural showcases, and career talks. No? Establishing feedback system, advisory council, and home visit can also enhance collaboration. Training educators to work effectively with families and communities is equally vital. No? So when schools, families, and communities work together, students benefit not only academically but
Lipat
also
mo
in
siya.
terms of emotional intelligence, confidence, and civic responsibility. And this partnership cultivate a strong sense of belongingness and prepare our students to become productive members of society, creating ripple effect of positive change across generation. Okay? So I think that's it.